There we go. 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 Okay. Hi, everyone. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. Let me check and make sure that my family over at Instagram is able to come on board. There we go. 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 Hopefully, there are no delays. Hi, everyone. Hey, beautiful people. Thank y'all for bopping in. We're trying a bunch of different ways to see how we can manage all of the sudden drops and things that we are experiencing, but we're going to get there. Hopefully, the audio is audioing. Hi, everybody. Hello. This is becoming fun. I told y'all if you just, wait, hold on. Let me make sure. Okay, yes. Hi, IG. Hello, beautiful people. IG. Hello, 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 hello. Hi, guys. I hope you guys are having a great, what is today? Today, oh my God, is Monday. Today is Monday. You guys, I'm putting on my Lisa's Kitchen. Yes, this is free promotion for my soror because this product that she has, baby, when I tell you this product that she has, it is called, it's from Lisa's Kitchen. It's called Sea Jelly. I've said several times that I just get beautiful care packages from my beautiful sister, Lisa Price. And I'm just so grateful every time something just pops up. And this, with a whole bunch of other goodies, popped up. And it smells like heaven. Hi, y'all. Make sure you guys share this live. Make sure you tell somebody, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're going to chat a little bit tonight. I'm trying to change things up. I'm trying to switch things up a little bit because I don't want to be redundant. Hello, Twitter. Let me look and see. I think I'm on Twitter. Let me look and see if I'm on Twitter, y'all. Twitter made me, well, they didn't make me. Their policy is that, hold on. Their policy is that you have to be, All Things Nikki is live. That's really cool. I love it. So I'm live on Twitter, I'm live on Instagram, and I'm live on YouTube. I will share this with my LinkedIn and my Facebook audience later. But I just first wanted to say thank you to every single person. I'm going to do some reading. So let me put my readers on. I want to first say thank you to every single person who has taken the time out to look at what I have posted on my social media regarding my case. And I just want you to know I'm really grateful. It means a whole lot to me that people are now taking a closer look at this. I know I have a reputation for being somebody who, like, if you had a chance to see the Funky Dineva interview, he described it as, here come her, what hurricane is she bringing in here? And I have said many times before, I'm just built that way. God knows, I'm just built that way. And when I see things that I think are an injustice happening in my community, I've always spoken up about it. I didn't just all of a sudden become an advocate for women and girls in our community. I didn't just all of a sudden become that when this P-Valley, Lionsgate, and Stars issue came along. I have been somebody who has advocated for people for my entire life. I mean, when I got my record deal with Michael Jackson, I brought my whole family from Detroit to come live with me and have opportunity. I love to see people thrive. I love to see people win. I love to see positive, good things happening in our community that we could share amongst each other without it being infiltrated or co-opted or infringed upon, by people who don't come from our community. And I've said this a gazillion times, people assume that when I reference culturally incompetent white male lens that I'm trying to be disrespectful. And I said it last night, I'm going to say it again. I say it till the cows come home. When I say culturally incompetent white male lens, what I mean is that I could not go to India or to Africa or to China as a black, I would be a culturally incompetent big black woman, So it is just the reality of what happens when other groups come into the community and pillage and take and flat out steal from us rather than become partners and partners. I mean, I don't think there's really anything else that we could do in any business that would give us long-term generational wealth and wellness other than partnership. And partnership means that when someone comes to you or someone has an idea that you're interested in or something that you want to invest in, partnership means that you actively work to make sure that it is fair and that it is equal and that it is amicable, right? And what I've learned over the course of this case is that's my dog snoring in the background, you guys. What I've learned over the course of this case, and I've been in this for 4 years. It hasn't been filed in a federal court for 4 years. It's been filed since 2021 is when we filed, or was it 20? It was actually 2022 because the whole of like the end of that year and we tried to work it out for a long time before it became a court thing, right? So I've been looking at P-Valley and Katori Hall receiving credit for creating a story that I created. I've been looking at that since 2020, shortly after my birthday. My birthday was July 8th. P-Valley aired July 12th, 2020, right? So coming out of a pandemic, I lost both of my parents. I lost my mom in on June 3rd, and September 6th, my father a few months later. And y'all, many of you know from my Brownstone history that, it was Maxie before that, right? So I never really had a chance to gather my bearings. And then there was the infamous Kelly Price moment. Y'all, let me drink a little sip of my Tahitian treat. Ooh, Lord. I don't even like soda. But when my husband brings Tahitian treat into the house, it's a whole nother situation. And I'm not a soda drinker. If you're watching me on YouTube, I see you, Nick. Thank you for watching. If you're watching me on YouTube, please like, please share, and please subscribe. I do this because, well, first of all, I'm doing it nightly because my YouTube people told me I have to commit and I have to do it like nightly to get, it's the whole thing I got to do every night. I'm learning. But also because this is really the only way I can get the message of this, what I consider injustice, out to the people. The only way I can do it is by using the platform that God gave me and hoping that some of y'all will share this, because Deadline.com ain't sharing it. Hollywood Reporter ain't sharing it. All people are doing is talking about how great and wonderful, the magical world of Katori Hall is. And you can't imagine how infuriating it is to know what I know. Right? So I'm hopeful that, because again, like I said, nobody wants to be litigious. I spent a lot of time trying to avoid this. I spent a lot of money trying to avoid this thing that is happening right now. I never came out of this situation like, I'm about to sue her for and that wasn't what it was with R&B Divas either. And people, it's really interesting to me because it's crazy to me how our people just do not understand the value of intellectual property. No, it's not. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Not that it is crazy. It is just really important for me to make sure that I educate people as much as possible on the value of the preeminent business assets that we hold in our community. And the paper says, the facts show that media, entertainment, sports create more billionaires and millionaires and wealthy people in the Black community than anything else. So for us to be denied the opportunities to have ownership of those preeminent business assets that we create as Black people, and it's not something that just started last week. It has gone on since, I believe, it's Big Mama Morton and Elvis Presley. Today, I had one of the most disturbing but inspiring calls I've ever had with a very, very popular writer who created so many amazing hit shows and that person's family. And they'll be on She Speaks Live, so you'll be able to see it, and it's going to blow your mind. It's just happened to us over and over and over and over and over and over again. And this is the time that God has designed for me to be the person that just fights with everything I have. And I think that they have looked around and found out. It's not easy. Has not been easy. It's been horrible. It has been unbearable. I don't sleep well since I haven't, well, you know what? Let me not say that. I sleep well when I get to sleep, but I have such a huge workload, right? That I just work well into the midnight hour, burning the midnight oil, because I'm an independent production and media company. I got shows to produce. I've got tours and stuff that I have to do. And now it appears that all of this work that I'm doing, I have to pay Lionsgate, Stars, Katori Hall, the P-Valley folks, $600,000. The reason I have to pay them $600,000 is because the judge in my case in California said that it is important that a lesson is learned about bringing frivolous lawsuits into his courtroom. And I don't mean any disrespect to Your Honor. God knows I don't, especially while we are currently in appeal with the Ninth Circuit and we are set for oral hearing. But everything I've researched online, everything I've read, everything I've seen has shown me that Ninth Circuit 3-panel judges don't hear frivolous cases. They don't set oral hearings for frivolous cases. The magistrate approved me deposing the CEO of Lionsgate after she heard and saw the evidence. The magistrate who handles depositions did not think it was frivolous because that was an apex deposition. That is also a deposition that y'all will never get to see. You won't see Katori's deposition. You won't see Nico's deposition. You won't see the CEO's deposition because the judge has agreed to seal all of that. Now, if I'm telling the truth, I'm not sealing documents. I want everybody to know. If I'm Katori Hall, I want the world to know this lady crazy, which she's called me public in groups. Says people like me whether you think they do or not. I'll never call people out or expose them. But I know some of the things that you said, and I'm disappointed by it because I put real effort, Katori Hall, into not making this messy. And now my house, my husband's a veteran. My grandson's college education. I have a sister who has incurable brain cancer that I found out months before finding out the judge threw my case out because he couldn't see any of the 57 similarities. Katori, why did you hire your own lawyer separate from Lionsgate? Katori, what did you discuss when you said you and the CEO sat down and had a conversation and you were swapping each other's story ideas, especially when it happened after I went and left them all of my materials? What happened in those situations? I see y'all. Hey, Cordell. I know this is a Q&A and we're going to get to the Q&A part, but I want to bring people up to speed because I think what is happening to me is happening because I am crazy enough to believe that I don't care how far it has to go. It's going to go however far it needs to go. And if at the end of the day, you know, and it's crazy, what's really uncomfortable for me about this whole situation is that as I speak and share with you all, they're filing paperwork in the courts in California and Georgia to start collecting on the $600,000 judgment, in spite of the fact that we are in appeal. And we are not just in appeal. Our case is going back and forth. And the only reason why we ain't having oral argument in October is, and these are all public documents. So for those of you who are like, oh, should she be talking about her case? Baby, if I'm not talking about my case, nobody is, and no one learns from it. At the very least, it's going to be a real expensive lesson that's going to be laid out for any creative to be able to follow. But our appeal, thank God, the Ninth Circuit. Now, for those of you who don't know, what happens is you go into federal court with copyright. Yeah. When you get into federal court, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I live, and I can't put other people's business out in the street because I don't want nobody to think I'm doxing them, but all the main parties live here. The show films here. But for some strange reason, after a year and a half, they decided to toss my case over to LA, right? Ironically, the judge who got my case also had another case with some of the defendants, the same defendants in my case. And in that case, he ruled against the creatives, and he also made them pay legal fees. So I knew the minute that it went to him, and I saw that the people that are defendants in my case have had another case before, Your Honor, and he ruled in their favor before, that chances are he might do it again. That's just how it goes, right? You research, you study, you try to figure out what your odds may be. That's all you can do, right? Then I realized that in addition to him having been on another case from the defendants, I'm not going to start naming people because I'm not going to be that disrespectful, but look it up on Pacer. It's there. It's public for you to see. So when I realized he had, done a case like this almost the same, the ladies shared their story with somebody, they went, looked up, and there it was. And from what I could see, I was like, wow, these are similar, but they had an expert. He threw out their expert's report. He charged them legal fees. Now, they didn't appeal, right? I don't know where the case went from there, but they didn't appeal on their legal fees or on the case. And probably because they were tapped out. Because, who can challenge $1 billion company when you're just an independent individual? Like, that's next to impossible. So another thing I knew was not working out in my favor. You guys saw me ranting a lot and venting a lot and, showing my ass sometimes. And it's because that's all I could really do, because then I discovered that the defendants hired a clerk to be a part of their law firm who worked for the judge in my case. I'm going to say it one more time so you guys, and just take the information in and make sure you share it, because they'll probably cut my lab off again, That's why y'all got to go to WIRFTV.com, because this is probably where we're going to end up. But anyway, say it one more time. The judge in my case had a judicial clerk that now works for the law firm that I'm fighting against. And listen, before y'all start saying, oh, it's perfectly legal. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They do it all the time. But I didn't find that out till I was already there. We tried to work it out through mediation. That didn't work. When my case first got to LA, the judge ordered the defendants in the case to refile what they filed as a motion to dismiss, because it passed the motion to dismiss in Georgia, meaning the judge in Georgia did not dismiss my case. He sent it to LA, and the reason he sent it to LA in the writing was because he felt like there were people in Los Angeles that could be subpoenaed to testify, and people that needed to be heard from by the court. And it would be easier to get them to testify in LA if the court was in LA. So I was like, okay, no big deal. It's expensive for me to move my case to LA, but okay, no big deal. Let's move it to LA. We moved it to LA. Soon as it got to LA, he didn't dismiss it. He just moved it to LA. Soon as it got to LA, this current judge who's charging me the legal fees and dismissed my case, soon as it got there, he told them to refile their motion to dismiss as a motion for summary judgment. A motion for summary judgment means it's over, right? It's just, and usually you get a motion for summary judgment if they discovered through discovery that I didn't own the copyright, which they did not discover that, because I do, or if there was some other evidence that was just actual and factual reason to just throw my case out. The reason, so he ordered them told them, hey, y'all go refile this as a summary judgment. Now, initially I was thinking, well, he told them to refile it as a summary judgment because he just looked at my facts and looked at my case. And he was like, oh, this is a no-brainer because all of y'all, most of y'all, everybody else done looked at it. And again, I'm not saying it gives me a slam dunk, but it gives me at least the right to a jury is what I'm thinking, and let the jurors decide, because that's how court works for people that don't look like me, I guess. Or maybe it does. I don't know, but whatever. I'm not going to make this about racism, as terrible as it feels. So then we are going back and forth. When they tell us to file a motion for summary judgments, my attorneys, who are incredible, by the way, when they told us to file a motion for summary judgment, they immediately got to work on trying to argue why this judge should not throw my case out. We hired an expert. By we hired an expert, I never talked to that expert. I had no idea who that expert was. My law firm interviewed and hired that expert. And that expert's job is to look at the evidence and either say, you got a really, really great case for copyright infringement. Your case for copyright infringement is mediocre, or you need to just go on ahead and let this go. We ended up on this end of the spectrum with him saying it's impossible for P-Valley to exist without having seen Soul Kitten's Cabaret. It's indeed infringement. He also went on to say the reason why he believes it was infringed upon, which was because it would be cheaper to hire someone else to recreate the idea that I pitched to the CEO than to give me co-ownership or partnership like you did with Tyler Perry, who was my motivation for presenting it to you and interview. And the reason I got the meeting was because my attorney at the time, who was friends with the CEO of Lionsgate, I came in and I said, the same person who invested in Tyler Perry has agreed to invest in my television adaptation of my play, which starred Fantasia and Faith. I would like to do this the same way Tyler Perry did it, because I know that's how you get to generational wealth and generational wellness. I worked with Tyler before he had the big deal with Lionsgate and all those people. And I remember him very specifically saying in Maxine's Baby, I went in and I went to Lionsgate and I told them that you have to let me own this and I will license it to you. And I was working with the same promoter and the same person. And I went in and I pitched the same deal to the CEO. Like I said, he very specifically was like, I remember every detail, right? The lawyer, who was a friend of his, who was my lawyer, referred me to the meeting. The lawyer's paralegal, the person who set the meeting up, remembers the meeting. My partner, producer partner, and my publicist and manager who went to the meeting with me, we all remember the meeting. That's 5 Black people. And the CEO didn't say it didn't happen. He just said he did not recall. And that was enough. 5 of us know the meeting happened. 2 of us sitting in the meeting where he said, oh, the name Tata Burlesque, I love it. Tata means auntie in French. Tata Burlesque, cabaret, it's all French inspired. I didn't want to say auntie burlesque at the time, because when I copyrighted my story in 2004, which is 20 years ago, calling somebody a drag queen and an auntie and sis and ma'am, my gay friends and transgender friends weren't really not that they weren't embracing it, but they hadn't arrived at these definitions. And one of the reasons the judge dismissed my case is because he said my character is gay and their character, Uncle Clifford, is non-binary and gender fluid. I copyrighted this story in 2004. Non-binary and gender fluid were not terms that were widely used to describe a person who is a member of a community that does not separate based on how gay or how transgender or how whatever you are. That's why it's called the LGBTQIA community, because it is an umbrella. But the judge felt like that wasn't good enough. He believes that my character is only gay. And my character only references being dressing up like a woman, where Uncle Clifford does. Another thing he mentioned was that, my show was set in an upscale cabaret. It was set in Detroit. Y'all see them raggedy ass chairs and them LED lights falling off of the stairs. There was nothing upscale about it. The issues that the women faced the looming casino, the girl arriving with a red vintage suitcase, they arrived the exact same way. What was the point of copying it down to a red vintage suitcase entrance? De minimis means that if there is a disputable fact, that is even a small disputable fact, I'm not a lawyer, but I've done enough reading to know, it means that it should go to a jury to decide. Of course, I believe I have a slam dunk. Of course, I'm clear that I gave my materials to the CEO of Lionsgate. And of course, I'm clear that Katori, shortly after being served a letter, did an interview with ABFF where she said that she was swapping story ideas with the CEO. They were sharing ideas. What ideas did you share? Did you have a casino plot in the play that you wrote that went up for one day in Minnesota, probably after they gave you the ideas, so that you could just do some sort of proof of content or concept or proof of original creation or something? Because I know also that Katori's friend, who I won't name, went and met with stars. They presented her ideas, told her to pick one. This is just, I'm not picking on nobody. These are just things that happened. And here, let me take a little bit of this Tahitian tree. So the disadvantage of being in a litigation like this is you have to go down the rabbit hole and you have to learn everything. I'm just a researcher person. And when I went down the rabbit hole, I came across a woman who said that she went to Stars and Lionsgate, and she knows Katori Hall. They know each other. The lady says she was called in by this new diversity, equity, and inclusion person, and the lady presented her with 3 ideas, and she thought she was being called in to be a writer. And the lady said, no, we want you to take these, read these 3 ideas and go home and create something from them and bring it back and meet with the CEO. So the lady said she picked, one of the ideas that she picked was from a short story that they had acquired, Lionsgate and Stars. And she said she went and she rewrote it and she redid it. And she said that she went to the person at Stars and they said, congratulations, you're the showrunner and the creator of this story that we gave you to develop, basically. And I'm paraphrasing. So I always wondered if maybe Katori had a similar situation. I always wondered if maybe like her friend went and sat down and met with somebody. And they said, hey, you know, we got this thing that's been laying around gathering dust. What you think? I don't know. And apparently the judge doesn't think that that was possible because they don't look enough alike. And I cannot disagree with his orders. I can't. I see a question of, can you get a new judge? No, that's not how this country works. Sure can't. What I can do is pray that the Ninth Circuit, which is 3 judges, see at least enough similarity for me to be able to go to trial. Then it is remanded back to that judge who, during the oral hearing, which we had 1 hearing with him, and my husband and my best friend and her husband, who's a security guy, owns a company, they all good reads of people. They were like, no, he gets it, he sees it. Because, you know, if you look at the transcript of the oral hearing, you know, he said to Lionsgate, that's not gonna fly. Like, you know, he was very, but something in my spirit, my grandmother told me I have a keen spirit of intuition, and something in my spirit said, no. I never felt like I was going to get, I never felt like I was going to get past this judge. I never felt like that. That's just me being honest. It's not me being disrespectful. I read everything. And I even hit my lawyers very early on. It was like, he's going to sock it to me. And all I could do is get on live and Instagram and get out here and say, please let me get to trial. Please, because I believe what you speak becomes, it manifests, especially when it's God. And not just because I couldn't say all the things, and I still can't say all the things I think and I feel. I can say, sir, with all due respect, I disagree with your decision. Sir, with all due respect, I feel like you should wait until this oral hearing that we're scheduled for happens before you allow them to come and take my home and my assets. That just seems mean. That just seems like I don't stand a chance with one opinion, which is why I asked for a jury. 12, and I only need 7. And we know what the jury's going to say. And there's nothing I can do but talk on Instagram and YouTube when I'm not shadow banned and hope that somebody shows somebody and shows somebody, and somebody who really actually cares about this crime that has occurred in my life, in Eric Monte's life, in Monique's life, in Sophia Stewart's life, and so many creatives who are scared or afraid of losing everything. I see why. We see why, don't we? We see why. Because we have the audacity to stand up for ourselves. When I said I will come down off of the cliff tumbling, I meant it. I know the risks I take. My husband knows, we know. But also when I said I'm going to have my arms and legs wrapped around your neck while I'm coming down that hill and we coming down together, I meant that too. And I hate being in this space where I'm constantly thinking of ways to protect my family legally, intelligently, well thought out and planned. But my back is against the wall. Because not only have you been given a judgment that I disagree with entirely, but also to add insult to injury and to stick it in and really jab that, just like that, you come in to take all of the shit that he gave you, like now, like not waiting, fair is fair, wait for appeal. You coming to get it today, tomorrow. Looking at my live right now, trying to figure out what you can pick out to go send to the judge and say, oh, she's out here. I'm a media company and I'm reporting the news. I can't help it that I'm a part of it today. And every single day that I get on this live and talk about it. I'm not deterred by you putting 3 people on my lives. I'm not deterred by my shit just stopping out of nowhere. I'm not deterred from helping save my life, my family's life, and what we worked so long to achieve. Because what you did not consider, Katori Hall, when you allowed them to do what I believe is use you as a tool of the incompetent. Because it's really ironic to me. And yes, I'm rolling my neck and sucking my teeth and mad as hell. It's really crazy to me that you actually said you wish that you had chosen your partners more wisely the day after you got that letter. Because me and you both know you got more to say about it. And I understand you probably can't. Because that's just how it works. I've been doing this for a long time. But for you to sit back and allow and watch what is happening to my family and think that God and karma don't come full circle. See, they don't care. I already know how many impressions I got to make. I was told how many impressions, literally. And I can't say how many impressions I was told because they redacted the discovery And every question that was asked of the CEO and every question that was asked of Katori and Nico, all those questions that were asked in that very short discovery period that the judge ultimately gave us, I know how many impressions I got to have in order for it to be a thing or a problem or an issue with these people. And I know I will probably never reach that because it's too many people in this entertainment industry who are cowards and who are afraid to stand up and help other people. So I thank God that I have a soldier, literally, who served this country, who is potentially about to lose his home to $1 billion company that lucked up on a judgment. But this is just a house. We've been here for 12 years. We've worked hard. This is just a house. Our family ain't got shit to do with this material shit. It's just a house. But it's the idea that I actually have to pay people who have already taken enough from me. And there's nothing I can do. And that's the thing that makes me get on here every single night, because all I can do is speak the truth over and over and over again until hopefully y'all got 3 subscribers, your mama, your child, because this is like, where's that whole transparency talks, that whole we're helping the black community. You're destroying a black family. You haven't even considered the fact that you are taking my grandson's college fund and you're negatively impacting his life, all because I asked a question about something that I came and gave to you that looks substantially similar to something that you gave someone $100 million to produce. I think it's a little odd that you would give a first-time producer $100 million to produce something that you don't own. And that's interesting because part of our whole conversation is that I wanted to, like Tyler Perry, own, co-own, partner. And see, this is why it's not just a frivolous thought that I'm having. Oh, you think they just didn't want to give you ownership. You just all of a sudden, I did an ownership deal with BET the same year. I pitched them right after I pitched the CEO of Lionsgate. I pitched BET with Queen Latifah and Shakim from the bottom up, and I own 50% of it. So I was pitching ownership and licensing, and that didn't work for you. So I would assume that maybe you just went out and got a work for hire to do it for you, and her name is Katori Hall. And shame on you, sis, because I really tried hard to not make it this, because I already know people don't like my ass because I tell the truth, shame the devil. And it's a lot of ratchet ass motherfuckers out there that don't like to hear the truth. And guess what? I'm grown and I don't care. And I'm going to tell it. My daddy said, don't die with the truth in you. I know. I don't see how this Katori person can live with herself. I don't either. I'm getting to some questions. They have no integrity. No, they don't. None at all. No disrespect, but when will you move on from this situation and recreate something bigger and better? That's a great question. Okay. Someone wants to know when I'm going to move on. And they may be a child, so I'm going to talk to them like they are. Baby, in my Monique voice, I invested 20 years of my life in this property. I created it and copyrighted it in 2004. It has gone on to be one of the most successful shows on television. The person who stole the idea from me was given $100 million. So I'm assuming that based on being one of the number 1 shows on their network after being given $100 million, that they trying to double, triple their money. So the number 1 reason that I'm not going to step away from it is because that's just not how I operate. I don't just walk away from injustice and close my eyes and just go I'm going to make another show. No, I made a hit show just like I did with R&B Divas. And some people might have asked why I didn't just matter of fact, there were people in the chat asking me why I won't just let this R&B Diva shit go. Because I own it now, 11 years later. I don't give up. I do not retreat until justice is served. Because listen, let me tell you something that's really real. I never have another word to say about P-Valley tomorrow. We'll take down every video, every negative. No, I won't do all that. But it'll be over. If you talk to me with the respect and the consideration that I deserve. I did not pick this fight. I'm not the aggressor here, no matter how Detroit I come across. I'm the victim of copyright infringement. I took a well-briefed, documented, evidenced case full of merit. I spoke with several attorneys, some of whom have been victorious on some of the biggest copyright cases known to mankind. I asked all the smartest people I know, am I tripping? Am I bugging? Is this ego? And every one of them said, no, absolutely not. This case is a clear case of infringement and you deserve a trial. And if you stick to it, you just might get one. So for all of those people who are rejoicing that they get the pank, just like these people that's rejoicing that they get my house or whatever. We not there to get my house. We working on that. Now that when I say take my house, oh, listen, y'all want the news somewhere? But technically, actually and factually, the judge issued a judgment for them to get $600,000 and I don't have it. I've been spending money for 4 years trying to fight to defend myself. And instead of seeing it in the eyes of a plaintiff who just, it would be crazy for me to just frivolously go and decide that I want to expose myself to all this hate and negative back and forth with people. Fighting $1 billion company that don't give a shit about me, my family, or nothing. I just wouldn't do that if there was no case there. And even I believe there was a case. That is the reason I talked to so many attorneys and so many advisors, because I didn't want to make an egomaniacal decision. This ain't about ego. At this point, it's about ownership, and I want it back, and I'm going to get it back. Either I'm going to get it back or it's just not going to work ever again. And that's not about being petty. It's just about how it works with me specifically because of the protection that God has put on my life. And because I created this from a place of love. That character that is out there for everybody to just appreciate and feels like it's such a great representation of the LGBTQIA community. I created that character and I shared that character with the CEO of Lionsgate, who said, oh, Tata Burlesque, I love it. Oh my God, I can't wait to read the script. I'm going to go home and read it with my kids. We read scripts over the weekend sometimes, and then I'll get back to Leroy. We'll get back with you. He loved the character Tata and he loved the script, and he sat with his back to the sun. I sat across from him with my manager, PR person here. We set 2 scripts, 2 DVDs, 2 copies of Curtains, which was the dramatic series. See, that's the thing that people aren't processing. Soul Ken's Cabaret as a play had a $100,000 budget. It was inside of a theater. But the dramatic series Curtains, which was written, the pilot episode, right, reads like a mirror, because you got a character arriving via public transportation and that character checks into a seedy hotel. All those things happen because they had all that information to pull from. And I brought 2 copies of everything because I was supposed to be meeting with 2 people, one from legal and the CEO of the network. And I didn't feel like I needed to worry about this because my lawyer referred me. My attorney referred me to his friend who was an attorney, who was the CEO of Lionsgate. So I didn't feel no pressure about having something taken from me 7, 8 years later. But it was. And then when I went to go and defend myself, they snatched it out of my home federal court, put it in the hands of a judge who has worked with them, who they have had a case in front of before, who ruled the same way. And they hired a clerk who used to, a lawyer works for their firm now, who used to be a clerk for the judge. I'm not saying anything inappropriate happened, because all these things are legal. That's how the system works. And that's why I get out here and I talk. And I share because we make billions and billions and billions of dollars. It's not exaggerated. It is a fact. What we create with our brains, it makes billions of dollars. And we get a check for being a star of it, or a performer in it, or a writer on it. And then it's over until we're in a freaking picket sign picketing about the $3 residual checks we get from it while you're in the south of France or wherever. And your family is getting great educations and becoming doctors and lawyers so that the nepotism can happen in perpetuity. We know what happens when Black people have ownership of our intellectual property rights. Tyler Perry happens. Wealth, studios, hiring people. Why was Tyler Perry the last deal Lionsgate did like that? It worked so well for the Black man. Why, when I, who was working with the same people that was working with him, came and presented you the same scenario with a great show that you loved instantly, why was I not worth having that kind of deal with? Because I'm Black, because I'm a woman, because you figure, what the hell, we could just do it ourselves? We could hire Katori to rewrite it? Is that what happened? I'm not saying that's what happened, so don't come try to sue me for defamation. Because I haven't said for a fact anything except the things that I was there for. And not just I was there for, a whole team of people knew I had that meeting with you. But because you're powerful and you got more money than me, you can redact it all. So it's there, but if you go look at it on Pacer, it's just a whole bunch of Black stuff with everything they said. Katori, if I'm you, sis, I want to say something about this publicly. I don't want to cower for 4 years and not say a word. I want to say Nikki is a liar. I want to say Nikki is crazy out loud publicly. I want to say these things that Nikki is talking about are not true. If I'm you. All right, y'all, they're playing funny with my stuff. Let me answer a couple. We are in appeal, for those of you who are asking. We are in appeal. We are set for oral hearing and appeal, but the judge said that he wasn't going to stop. They could still collect. So I wish that wasn't the case. And, I do this and I do these lives because I want my grandson to be able to look back and be like, my grandmother fought her ass off for the college education that Lionsgate, Katori Hall, and P-Valley and Stars and the judge who ruled in their favor took from me. Because that's what you're doing. You mad at me because me and everybody who went to wirfmedia.com and looked at those comparisons, or went to my YouTube channel and looked at those comparisons, everybody who looked at those comparisons saw clearly that we deserve a trial. And what I hope, I know how careful I have to be. That's the other thing. That's just the way they get us. Because you can't talk about shit. Your First Amendment rights don't mean nothing. Because guess what? I wish y'all could see all the things Katori said. They didn't even give up. Most people have for discovery, they have like 6 months, a year. We had a few weeks, 8 weeks, something like it. Was crazy. It was crazy. So I know that God has put this on me for a reason. I'm not trying to be nobody martyr, and I'm not trying to have people feel sorry for me. Because the truth is, ain't nothing y'all can do. First of all, unless you go give me the $600,000, which I won't be giving to them. No, there's nothing y'all can do but pray that the appeals court sees what we all see, and they give us a shot in trial. Because once they reverse and remand, that is what we're paying for. Those are the words we want to hear. We want to hear reverse and remand. Say it with me, y'all. We're going to say it together. Dear Lord, the appeals Ninth Circuit is going to see the similarities. They're going to see the error, and they're going to reverse and remand my case back to trial court. Then that's when the fun starts. Because I got a team on standby and ready to go. But we can't argue a case that the judge won't allow us to get into his courtroom. And after 4 years and millions of dollars spent on both sides, I don't see how anybody could think of my case as frivolous. I just don't see how it's possible. But ain't nothing I can do but lose my mind, which I'm not finna do. The material things that we may lose in the process, we just gonna lose until somebody decides that they're gonna speak up with me. Because, trust me, I do believe that if there was more press on this, like more thank you, Shade Room. Thank you, Baller Alert. Thank you, Funky Dineva. Thank you, all of the outlets on YouTube. Thank you so much, Safe Space, who just did a really, guys, Vincent Terrell. Go look at that. There's so many people who have been sharing this, you guys. Just share it. Just share it. Just make sure people know that this is what it is, because that is what is the travesty. If this whole thing happened to me and I wasn't talking about it, future creatives would actually think they have a chance. They keep paying them copyright fees to the copyright office. Keep paying them fees because they think they actually, and here's the thing, y'all. If you go look at my evidence and the charts and everything, right? And you say, she don't deserve to go to no jury. Ain't no similarities in here. Ain't no reason for a jury. Then be clear that what you're saying is that you can have 57 comparisons, the circumstantial evidence that you went and actually left the materials with the company who gave somebody $100 million. They were confident. They knew that was going to work. They gave her $100 million. That's what the CEO said. So imagine any other creative thinking that they could go before. It's a chilling effect that this will have on an industry that brings in billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars for people who create content as well as Black people and BIPOC people do, to not feel like they can be protected from having those creative, preeminent business assets infringed upon. It makes me think about the Reparations Report that the Department of Justice has set up a task force on, and chapter 9, I believe, is on IP deprivation and the impacts. I'm sorry, oh, my dog is, what a soundtrack. My dog is snoring. He's so loud. I just felt like, damn, he loud. But the negative impact of IP deprivation in our community, on our communities. You guys, I really do create opportunities for wealth building. I really do create opportunities for women to be on TV shows and in movies, and I create opportunities for our community to thrive and to work and to be successful. And now they're destroying my whole business because I wanted to protect myself. I went to a judge asking him to help me, and he socked it to my ass. And he made it clear in his ruling that he wanted to teach me a lesson. When I said last night, I feel like that scene in Roots where he's saying Kuta Kente and they saying Toby, that is how I feel. When I say I understand when Prince wrote slave on the side of his face, when I say I understand when Michael Jackson said what he said, well, y'all, when does it stop? When do y'all get behind us and stop subscribing to people, places, and things that destroy people who are creating opportunities in our community and contributing greatly? We don't have Michael. We don't have Prince. We don't have Whitney. We don't have Bob Marley. There's so many people we don't have anymore. Because a lot of times they were abused so much by corporate greed that they self-medicated, or they just, so many reasons. And now we're at a place where we can really make a difference. I know it's people like pointing and laughing and excited and celebrating the demise of integrity in this industry. But I'm telling you, I've been hearing some things. And y'all about to learn that a lot of y'all heroes ain't worthy of being deified like y'all do. And I want to stop talking about this. I want to finish my movies. I want to finish my album. Let me plug that Brownstone is on the road with Keith Sweat and the Sweat Hotel. I'm so grateful for, being able to continue to do that. But I'm disgusted with Katori Hall. And I want the message for her to be, what goes around comes around full circle, sis. You and I both know. My dog. Comic relief. While I try to deliver a dramatic closing remark. Katori is wrong. You know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. Everybody around you knows it's wrong. They don't care about you and they don't care about me. They don't care about us. But you gonna have to live with the scarlet letter, because don't nobody believe you, sis. Don't nobody believe you. You don't believe yourself. We can see it in how you speak. We can see it in how you move. We can see it in the failure that is down in the valley that didn't work. Nothing you touch is going to thrive. Nothing you touch is going to succeed. Nothing you touch is going to grow until you let go of that anchor. Cut yourself loose. Because you hired your own attorney for a reason, I would think. And for those of you who think I'm picking on her, that ain't my business. And for those of you who celebrate her, you're not really her friend if you're not asking her, what do you think of that case? Because it looks like, you ain't got her back. You don't wish the best for her and her children. Putting a battery in her back about this bullshit that she's done to me. And listen, let this be the opportunity that I get to share to anybody who is celebrating Katori Hall. Unfollow me, unfriend me, lose my number. Don't talk to me. Not the actors, not the people on the show, specifically the woman who is taking credit for creating something she did not create. People have sent me screenshots. I've seen people I once admired putting a battery in her back, amen, cornering her, celebrating her. If you want to celebrate black women, encourage your girl to tell the truth. Shame the devil. Because now you're negatively impacting my family's well-being. And the gloves are off. We scrapping. And I hate this energy. I hate it. But in order to survive with my head in one place, it is either going to be sorrow, fear, or anger. Always faith. But I'm not going to be faith and sorrowful. And I'm not going to be faithful and fearful. I am faithful and angry and strategic and relentless. And I'm not going to lose. I've done too much for too many people for that to happen. Folks are praying hard for me. My ancestors, like you said, is up there blowing in the wings and shit, but in real life. And more than anything else, I have a confidence where if I was the only one person here all by myself, standing here facing you down with a rock, one single pebble, I have faith I am going to win this war. And I am not the person who started it. That's what I need y'all to know. So again, if you're celebrating Katori Hall, unfollow me now. You don't have to be pretentious about it. Just unfollow me. Because what she's doing in Lionsgate and Stars and those folks, even with the judgment from a judge, is terrible. And that's the character flaw. And I don't people like that. Same thing happened with Snowfall. I didn't know that. So guys, in shifting the energy, my sister's doing well. For those of you who don't know, she is living with glioma, which is brain cancer. We found that out a few months before the judge dismissed my case. My mother held me together on that one because I wanted to tear some shit up, as y'all can imagine. But she's doing well, and we're doing a 5K in Detroit, and we upped the contributions from the original $500 to $2,000. And we are $400 away from our goal. We got about $1,600 raised for glioma, head for the cure. So please click the link in the bio. She Speaks Live is live in studio. Let me tell y'all this real quick. Show and tell, just a game I play when I wanna say I love you. Oh, just show me and tell me. Y'all listen, baby. It's some things popping, some good stuff. I had to reshift the energy. I thank God for therapy, for faith, for positive energy, and a damn good black man with me, baby, because I got a team that helps me keep it together. So let me say, She Speaks Live is coming back. We're in studios. The first episode airs September 1st, September 1, at 9:30 p.m. That is a Sunday. We're back to Sunday nights. We've got some incredible special guests for you guys. Y'all don't want to miss this. We got some special surprise co-hosts, some of your faves. All your faves. Christine's back. Stacy's back. But we got some new surprises. We have a new set. The show is going to be amazing. Please make sure what is WIRF? WIRF TV is Women in Reality Film and TV. And it is an actual streaming platform. Now, when they say broadcast channel on Instagram and it'd be like, join the WIRF broadcast channel. No. That's not join that. But make sure you join the streaming platform, which is a streaming platform we created just in case these people get tired of me speaking truth to power and shut me down on Instagram, Twitter, and all those other outlets. But hopefully, they will allow me to continue to amplify my message of justice and equality for all people. I'm going to be doing this nightly, right? And hopefully one day I'll get on here with a Reparations Report, and that praise report will be that the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has reversed and remanded my case back to trial court. And here's the thing. The Ninth Circuit has definitely been overturning and reversing and remanding cases, right? There was another case my judge had where there was a video of this guy doing the exact same dance moves, and he threw it out on dismissal, and they punted it right back to him. So pray to God that I get the same grace, because all I want is a trial before jury. And in the meantime, pray that, I don't know, there's not really a way for us to stop them from collecting. They've already, every day I wake up and I got a letter from a court that's saying, it's crazy. It's crazy. Baby, let me tell you, if there's no feeling in the world like going to somebody for help because a $1 billion bully has done something awful to you and violated you, and being just thrown around a system until you finally land in the hands of someone who does what this judge did to me and my family. And I'm not disrespecting the judge. I'm telling it like it is, and I'm sharing what is a public document on Pacer. And the fact that that judge has decided to teach me a lesson and award them $600,000 in legal fees because I stood up for myself. I'm not turning this into a political campaign, but that's why we got to vote. That's it. Point blank. Because what I can't imagine is being like, I ain't even gonna go there. But I will say this. I knew when I was doing my research or whatever, the court system is all about laws and how they apply them. It's not about people. And that's not fair. Nobody should have to go through spending $1.5 million to fight something for 4 years, only to be told that you lose because there is no need for a jury, and throw out an expert report. Y'all, that expert report cost me over $50,000. I'm still paying for that expert report that the judge just threw away because he was a better expert than the expert. He said I only mentioned the casino in my play twice, and in P-Valley they mention it several times. He said gentrification was not a point in my play, which is, Jesus, this is what the whole thing is about. He said that Isaiah Washington's character, Mayor Ruffin, who is their version of my character, Frank Rudder, they're both homophobic antagonists. They both wear a fedora. They both carry a flask. They both smoke a cigar. They're both using an inside man who's reluctant to do the job to get dirt on a club so that both characters in Soul Kittens and P Valley can take over the club to build a casino. P Valley and Soul Kittens Cabaret have the exact same beginning, middle, and end. From the girl arriving with the red suitcase, to the plot for the takeover, to the homophobic antagonist calling the gender fluid protagonist a freak, to Mercedes wanting to open up a gym and my character wanting to open up a women's center, to the girl saving the club in the end. It's the same story. And I spent $1.5 million. And I gave it to the company that produces it. And he just got a raise and a promotion. Or maybe not a raise, but an extension. They gave Katori a first look deal. What has she produced? Y'all know season 2 wasn't nothing compared to season 1. Why'd they kill off Isaiah Washington? So many questions. I was hoping I would be able to ask in a jury, but because I'm not given that opportunity, I'm just going to ask them in the public. And the question of me litigating the case publicly, I'm not, because we're not in, it's an appeal. It's been ruled on. And every day I have to wake up to think about those letters that keep coming in my email about the ruling for $600,000. I'm going to talk about it. Katori, you're not going to win. I saw it already. And I don't know how this thing is going to go. But I know that the win for me is oral hearing, which will be broadcast live on YouTube for all of you to see. And y'all watching it. And you guys hearing that reason he dismissed my case was, again, because my character's gay, their character's non-binary. It's on the paper. He Detroit is upscale. Detroit was a city that was bankrupt until very recently. Katori didn't copyright the story until 2017. I copyrighted in 2004. What does copyright protection mean? Who does copyright protection protect? And why do these cases keep getting kicked to that district and tossed out? I have a lot of questions, but they're not going to all be answered tonight. The way y'all can help me is to share this. Because no doubt, Nico and Katori and all of them are going to be on Tamron Hall celebrating their Emmys and their nominations and their thises and their that's. And I am going to be figuring out how to save our assets until we get to oral hearing. And again, they keep pushing it back. And ain't nothing I can do about that. Like, we could have had oral hearing in October, but one of the judges had something to do. Not one of the judges. One of the lawyers on the defendant's side had something to do, so we couldn't do it in October. And then there was an option for us to do it in November. And then Katori's lawyer that she hired for some reason, I don't know why, I would love to know, but she couldn't do it either. So then now they pushed it back to December, which gives them several months to collect on this judgment. So that's how the court system works. And trust me, every step of the way, I'm going to document. So if it means bankruptcy, I'm going to document that. If it means sitting down with my grandson telling him that he can't play soccer this year, I'm going to document that. I want all the people subscribing to this network to know what happened. And I'm going to talk about it all the time. And I don't care if it's one person on here. They gonna learn the truth about those people. All right. Can y'all tell just I'm a little slightly irritated with all of this? Exactly. Let me see if I get a couple of questions. Yeah, it's messed up. It's crazy. Love you so much. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, they did the same thing to Monique. Lionsgate, same company. Lionsgate also produced the Wendy Williams show. You don't say. What do you think about that? Hey, be not dismayed. I'm not. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I got a real sharp way of saying things. Thank you. I am not dismayed. I'm faithful. There's no room for doubt in faith. I love P Valley, but I saw the entire 40-minute video when you first came out. Yep, absolutely. What Hollywood knows is one black person. I'm sorry, is what one black person won't do, another one will. Exactly. You're willing to go broke and lose your house. Yes. It's so sad that you're still going through this. Hey, this is how it works. What? Reverse and remand. That's the word. Reverse and remand is the word. Reverse and remand. I love it. Yes, reverse and remand. She still don't know you're giving her grace. Yeah, I'm giving her lots of grace. Oh, yes, indeed. Give us some 90s Brownstone merch. Absolutely. You guys, you can help me if you really, really want to. By going and registering to WRFTV.com. It is not asking for a handout. We got a lot of great content over there. Women in Reality Film TV.com. That's where the new R&B Diva show is going to be. That's where She Speaks Live is going to be. That's where this interview with Eric Monty, the creator of Good Times, who went through the same thing. And if his case had gone differently, then maybe my case would go differently. And let me say this is very important for you to know. Okay. And don't be sorry, y'all. We don't do sorry. I said sorry, sorrowful, and fear is not an emotion that I'm going to deal with in this situation. I'm only sorry when I lose somebody I love and care about, or I do or say something disrespectful to somebody. I'm not sorry that God has chosen me to be a lone warrior against a multi-billion-dollar company working to destroy me every day. I'm here for it because I'm tired and I have a harder time. Be sorry when I give up. So let me tell you guys something real quick. I was going to share something very important. I have a question if it's not too late. A woman named Gigi McGuire was Angela Yee. Yeah, including some Mercedes story. How does that coincide with your play? Just curious. Okay, let me explain that. That's a great question. This is supposed to be a Q&A, so I'm going to get to those. So I've seen Gigi McGuire's story, and she talked about the Mercedes Last Dance thing. The stripper stuff is what she's saying applied to her story, I believe. Like when she was a stripper, she did a Mercedes Last Dance thing and she did all that stuff. I've seen that video. Understand, as a writer, right? What you have to prove is that the story, right? Meaning if I came to you and I said, I have a story about a young girl who comes from the middle of nowhere. She's carrying a red vintage suitcase. She gets hired on the spot. A non-binary, the story, the beginning, the middle, the end, right? So there's certain elements when you got a play is 2 hours. Okay. My play was 2 hours. The TV show was 8 episodes or 10 episodes, which means that's 8 to 10 hours. So there's a lot of space and a lot more story that you can tell. That would be considered an adaptation or a derivative of the story of Soul Kittens Cabaret, right? So don't look at it from a lens of, well, they've got different characters, and this character did Mercedes Last Dance, and the relationship. Let's take, for example, the relationship between Mercedes and her mother, right? Excuse me. My lead character, Bianca has a horrible relationship with her mother because she's ultra religious too, right? So what they say in the dialogue and how they talk and communicate with one another isn't as important as the fact that you have a character dynamic where one character has a mother who is judging her because she dances in a club, and the mother's ultra religious, and the daughter is always trying to get the mother's love. There's a million ways that a daughter could figure out how to get the mother's love, from loaning her money, which didn't happen in Soul Kittens Cabaret. But the dynamic of the relationship between those two characters that were established and where that relationship leads is a really important part of story. Right? That's why we hire experts, so that experts can come in and filter out things that are called scene frere, right? Scene frere is a term that they came up with in this copyright space to help people steal from people, I think. It's just my opinion. because basically you filter out anything that's regular, right? So if it's a strip club, of course there's going to be a pole. If it's a strip club, of course it's going to be a DJ. If it's a strip club, of course it's going to be dollars and whatever, whatever, whatever. But the dialogue, the story, the way the story starts, the arc of the story, like little nuances, like there are 5 women in P-Valley. There are 5 women in Soul Kittens Cabaret. Each one of those 5 women have the same personalities in both shows. That's why we did the chart. The new girl, the OG, the ingenue who wants to be. So those are all things. That's the reason you hire experts, so they can filter out all of the things that are just basic things and see what you are left with. So a story about a beloved venue that was inherited in both stories, Soul Kittens Cabaret, and in P-Valley, the venue itself was inherited by a loved one, right? In both stories. In both stories, Tata Burlesque, which is Auntie Burlesque, and Uncle Clifford are both in down low relationships in both stories. Now, how those relationships grow and the exchange of the words and how they dress and what, that is all left up to creativity. And that all happens in the field and in the space. But the moments of identifying these pivotal characters. Again, when I mentioned my character who's the homophobic antagonist, Isaiah Washington played a homophobic antagonist. Now, Isaiah Washington played it to the hilt, like my character, not Isaiah Washington, but Katori. Had a fedora, had a flask, had a cigar, was a homophobe, was a bigot, black one, and plotted to take over the club for a casino. Those 2 characters had the same exact, in fact, they walked in the room the same way, walked around, taunted them the same way. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same beginning, the same middle, and the same end. And this is what's probably most important for you to understand in court and in this process. The fact that you and I can have a dispute about it, like the fact that you can say, Nikki, your character is only gay. And I can say, no, my character's not only gay, because the bigot comes in and says, the homophobe comes in and says, just the other day I came in here, you was dressed up like a woman. What are you, a man or a woman? So that tells you that my character identifies as not what we call now non-binary. Because P-Valley came out at a time when non-binary was established as a way to describe someone. They use the fact that he is described as non-binary to say he's not the same as my character, who's described as a drag queen and gender fluid. And the judge made that decision, not the expert. The judge. And the judge is not the trier of fact. The trier of fact is the jury. And the jury is supposed to be a common person who looks at the evidence and determines whether or not they see similarities. There's still so much I have to prove. And then when you're thinking about looking at the comparisons, let's take the comparisons out of it. The fact that he isn't saying the meeting that did not happen. He's not saying I didn't leave him the materials. 5 black folks, his friend, who was my lawyer at the time, who referred me to him, the assistant, my lawyer's assistant who booked it, my production partner, my manager / publicist at the time, and myself all remember the meeting, and he doesn't. And the fact that he didn't remember it holds more water. And it ain't nothing I can do except tell y'all. So hopefully you tell somebody, and then they tell somebody else and tell somebody else. And then that 1 million people who unsubscribed becomes enough for them to take me seriously. Becomes enough for them to unredact all the things that they said in that short deposition that they gave us. Court documents are supposed to be public so we can learn from them, so we can grow from them. They're not public documents because I couldn't afford to fight to have them unredacted. And now that I know how the judge is ruling in my case, I'm glad that I didn't spend that extra $30,000 to have my lawyers go and fight to unredact it, because it wouldn't have happened and it would have been a waste of $30,000, just like I wasted over $50,000 on the expert report that he just threw away. And the fact that I'm telling y'all this is risky. But I'm lightweight crazy, so just take the risk. Because the other option I have is to keep reading and watching these appeals and, praying to God. But instead, I'm like, fuck it. Talk to the people. Tell them what they really doing. And I know some of y'all still don't like me. And I also know some of y'all still don't care. Like I said, that's not my business. I'm not trying to call nobody out of their names, and I'm not trying to accuse anybody of doing anything crazy. You guys, the Eric Monty video is coming to Worth TV. It's $19.22. $19.22 for a year. We're going to do concerts. We're going to do all sorts of things. I'm trying to build my own streaming platform. If you unsubscribe from Stars, which is probably $19, $15, $18, whatever dollars a month, you can go on and take that $19 and have a whole year at WRFTV.com, because our streaming platform is there. And there's content on there that's really, really good, and stories that are really, really good, and TV shows that are really, really good, and new stuff coming. So please subscribe. For Us, By Us. Industry Blitz says, interestingly enough, they waited unless the lawsuit was dismissed. Now they're back to taping. Yes, they are back to taping. But guess what? Like I said, they may do another season, maybe do another 2. But if you ain't learned nothing from R&B Divas, you should learn this. When God gives somebody a vision that's theirs, and they create it, and they give birth to it, and their heart and their soul and their spirit is in it, and you rip it away from them, you're expecting something to live and thrive without the heart and the soul and the spirit of the creator. And it's going to fail. And it's going to fail miserably and loud and ugly and embarrassing. And not that I'm wishing bad on anybody, because I'm not. I don't have that kind of spirit. I'm just saying that's what the universe is going to do. Because they thought they could do that shit with R&B Divas, and it didn't work. I'm the sauce, baby. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that. I know a lot of y'all don't want to admit that. And I'm sorry I'm chewing like a horse on live, but this licorice is so good. I'm the sauce. It's been proven. The things I create by the grace of God work. That's why people be so busy trying to steal it from me. So, I am grateful. Y'all watching on YouTube, yay. I see the audience on YouTube. I see the audience on Twitter. I am grateful for y'all. Thank you guys for sharing this moment with me. Thank y'all for allowing me to release it. I talked to my therapist, and she said it's good that I'm actually doing this, because otherwise I'm holding it in. And I got a big show to tape on Friday. And I got a big show coming up with Brownstone over the next till December. So I want to release this, and I just feel like I released a lot of it. It's therapeutic. It's like a therapy session. Because even though y'all can't do anything really about this case, we got to wait till the Ninth Circuit appeals comes in. This is good for my mental health and wellness. And I think my husband's too, even though he be like, but at this point he like, babe, listen, what we got to lose? And yeah. Okay. Let me look. Facts, finger, red, 1. Yeah, it's crazy. So guys, I really appreciate this. This has been a really healthy conversation for me. We support you, and it is evident that it was your work. I'm just following this journey. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you for responding. We support you. Clearly, these characters, the storylines, and the trajectory of the story are based on your play. I support you. Right, because guess what? She ain't done nothing since. They made a bad investment. I don't know you, dear. Don't give up. You got this. Thank you so much. You guys wait for the Eric Monty conversation. That started this whole thing. If Eric Monty's litigation, Eric Monty, real quick, is the creator of Good Times, All in the Family. What else? Coolie High. Really, really, really talented man. And he, unfortunately, when we watch Good Times, a lot of times people thought Norman Lear was the genius behind it, because in big white letters, No pun intended. There was Norman Lear at the end of Good Times. I couldn't wait to get to LA so I could see Norman Lear. I was like, oh, shoot, Norman Lear, the man from Good Times, I want to see him. It was Eric Monty. And I have very good relationship with Eric Monty and his family. He has 4 generations of Monties. His daughter is an amazing, smart, educated woman who is working to preserve her father's legacy. His granddaughter is a writer and she runs a nonprofit for animals. He has grandsons. He is safe with his family now. There were people setting up what do you call them, GoFundMe's and stuff. It was all kinds of stuff going on that was inappropriate. So now he's with his family. His family is going to be on She Speaks Live. We're doing a 2-part conversation. I cannot wait for you guys to see that. We've had several pre-production, pre-interview things. You'll get a chance to see it. And it's a very important conversation to pay attention to because Mr. Eric Monty is the godfather of the sitcom. And he's one of the first people that was treated very, very, very poorly. And I'm going to say this to anybody who's on the verge of 35 years. Okay, there's something called, and I'm saying this now because I said this on my Zoom call earlier today, and I was surprised that a lot of people, I saw that Grace Mercy Live. You already know, girl. You already know. Yup, exactly. I ain't going to repeat it out loud, but what she said. So long story short, Eric Monty's family is doing the show and we're working on something really, really powerful. So make sure you follow Eric Monty Productions. I will let you guys know when his episode airs. We're editing the first few episodes now. The first episode is going to blow your mind. Remember, She Speaks Live on WIRFTV.com. You guys, I need y'all to go to WIRFTV.com and register because these people don't like me speaking truth to power like that. And at the end of the day, I don't want them to shut me down and you guys not be able to still get this good word. So please, what district is it in? It is in the Central District. My judge is Judge Stephen Wilson in the Central District. And right now it is in the Ninth Circuit, which is the appeals court. Hold on. I'm getting to these questions. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't see these questions. I was running my mouth. It gets hard before it gets better. Stay prayed up. Yes, indeed. Thank you guys, for your positive words. Yes, I read the Gigi McGuire content. Spread the word. That's what you guys can do. Yes, Cooley High. Eric Monty wrote all these amazing shows, and if his lawsuit had gone differently, then it would have done something called set precedent. When you set precedent for litigation, then it means that every lawsuit that comes after you stands a better shot, either for or against the plaintiff. And the bottom line is plaintiffs never win for a reason. There's a reason plaintiffs never win copyright litigations. Because 9 times out of 10, individual plaintiffs are going against multi-billion-dollar corporations that just decided they're going to take it. And you know that whole saying when they be like, so sue me. And you're like, well, of course I'm going to sue you. You don't realize that's what they actually mean. Like, spend 5 to 7 years of your life trying to sue me and find out that you're going to end up owing me millions of dollars and we're going to take everything you got. That's the threat now. And if I don't win this case, I venture to say that there is no such thing as copyright protection in this country for people that look like me. Not if I don't win this case. I said that wrong. Retract, cut. If I don't get a chance to go and present this case to a jury with the facts and the merit that I have, I don't believe that it's possible to win a copyright litigation case as an individual up against $1 billion company. And that is probably what God put me here to do, to prove whether or not it's fair. Because it don't get more clear than mine that I deserve a trial. Whether I win or not is up to the juries, but I deserve to see them. So you guys protect yourself, protect your copyrights. Understand that saying you're going to sue somebody and actually being able to withstand and go all the way through with it is a different thing. And I'm going to win. And we're going to get a remand in reverse. And y'all, thank you for praying for me. Thank you for praying for my family. Thank y'all for listening to me vent and rant and share, because otherwise I just grind my teeth out of my mouth and stress out. But I feel better. So thank you guys. Please like, please share and subscribe. And that's a great way to end this live. Monique the singer says you will win. And I'm going to tweak that a little bit. We will win, because when this case is reversed and remanded and I go in with them Vikings and them lawyers and them litigators that are just ready to just set precedents, It is going to benefit every creative that has or will ever face a giant like this. This is for all the creatives. We gonna win. All right, y'all. I love and appreciate y'all. Stay tuned. We got a lot. Go to Worth TV. Please go to worthtv.com and register. Please. Thank you. Have a good night.